Okay, so this is going to be really bizarre. You know, I'm a hockey fan, and I've made it very clear over the past few years that the NHL is my jam. Hockey is my jam. Basketball, on the other hand, I mean, I tune into it once in a while if it's there. The Knicks are going through a pretty big story as of late, so obviously I have attention on that. But for the most part, I am the casualist of a casual fan when it comes to the NBA and its stories. So with that said, today we're talking about LeBron James and Ivan Demidov and how either of these guys can potentially be compared to one another because of a comment made by Demidov the other day. Now, I understand it's a stretch, but let's dive into it here. Here's a post made by GoHabsGo31 on the rHabs subreddit. It's Ivan Demidov commenting on the Montreal Canadiens' future. This is a team that is going to win not only one Stanley Cup, but I think a couple more. That's my expectation. That's what I see in this team. Now, considering the fact that Ivan Demidov was a part of a Montreal Canadiens team that made the third round despite really not being in their prime, despite only just barely having exited their rebuild timeline, quote-unquote, Ivan Demidov and his pending contract to be for 2027 and beyond, it's going to be a really fun ride to watch him, Suzuki, Caulfield, Slavkovsky, and Lane Hutson continue to do their thing and continuously get better. Hopefully, they find themselves overcoming the hump and not maxing out as a team that survived 5 games in the Eastern Conference Finals. Hopefully, they're able to overcome that mark multiple times over the years. But Demidov is not all about that hopefully life. He's saying it will happen. This team is going to win multiple Stanley Cups. Not only one, but a couple more. So what? 3? Can the Montreal Canadiens become a Florida Panthers type dynasty? A Tampa Bay Lightning, Pittsburgh Penguins, LA Kings, Chicago Blackhawks style dynasty? Might I remind you, the Tampa Bay Lightning, even though they won back-to-back Stanley Cups, they made the Stanley Cup Finals a 3rd year in a row, and they also lost a Stanley Cup Final matchup in 2015. So there is a lot to look at in regards to various NHL teams. But Ivan Demidov's comments are quite interesting because you have fans on the Habs subreddit that go out there and compare this to the LeBron James conversation. So obviously, LeBron, arguably the best basketball player of all time. I am going to try to stay my lane here and not make any super inflammatory comments. I've got all these superfractor, top chromes, and prism cards open because I want to see what LeBron card fits the best on a thumbnail. Maybe the PSA 10. I like this pose, but the image is kind of blurred. Either way, you have fans going out there in the comment section of this Demidov quote saying this: I love the confidence, but please don't turn into a LeBron style not 1, not 2, not 3 meme. Now, I actually don't know what they're talking about. When I think about LeBron James memes, I think about the lying that he always tends to do and the fact that his son is on the Lakers. Hoodfellas replies, though, LeBron had every right back then to be that delusionally confident. He didn't even come far off the goal either. In 4 seasons, the resume was 2 NBA championships, with 2012 and 2013 being those victories, 2 NBA Finals MVPs in 12 and 13, 2 NBA Most Valuable Players MVPs in 12-13, 4 All-NBA First-Team selections from 2011 to 2014, 3 NBA All-Defensive First-Team selections 2011-2013, 1 NBA All-Defensive Second-Team selection in 2014, and 4 NBA All-Star selections. And he's the only one who showed up in the 2014 finals, averaging nearly 30. So, yeah, if Ivan Demidov and Lane Hutson manage to bring 2 rings to Montreal, even if it takes them 10 to 15 years instead of 4, Montreal will build statues of them right outside the Bell Center. And in 18 years, we can have Demidov Jr. play on the fourth line. Huh. That's pretty interesting, isn't it? Now, obviously, I gotta say that basketball is a lot more of a sport that allows individualism to thrive. You have players that move around all the time. It's not uncommon to see superstar caliber guys leave their team. The quote-unquote loyalty that you see with NHL players, with Ovechkin staying with his team the entire time, Crosby, Malkin, Letang, Kopitar, Doughty, Stamkos, until, of course, Tampa Bay kind of screwed him over. You see NHL players stay with their teams forever. But in the NBA, it's not really like that. You see a lot of player movement, and you typically see the best teams literally just be the teams with the best players. And I know that sounds kind of, redundant to say, but single individual players or one or two pairs of players can win you championships in ways that the NHL just doesn't really see. One or two guys can carry a mediocre team in the NBA to a finals and inevitably a championship. It's not like that in hockey. So LeBron, for what it's worth, him being the best player in the NBA for a good chunk of his career and being just so overwhelmingly dominant, really pushed those teams that he was on into championship territory. I don't necessarily know if the same thing can be said that Ivan Demidov and Lane Hutson, even as a duo, they'll be able to do the same thing. Now, if the Habs end up winning 2 championships and Demidov has 2 MVPs and 2 Conn Smythes and everything in between, then okay, this guy's really going to explode in ways that we didn't expect. But if that happens, then hey, put his number in the rafters, man. Ivan Demidov can potentially be one of the best players ever, especially in this generation. And even more crazy it'd be if his son played for the Canadiens with Demidov still on the team. Although, of course, LeBron James right now, he is 41 years old. I doubt that Ivan Demidov is going to stick around with the Montreal Canadiens till he's 41. That just doesn't really happen for NHL players nowadays. There then is some interesting LeBron conversations. All that is great, but he was a ghost against the Mavericks, choked really hard, guarded by 5'9" JJ Barea. Still, I'll take 2 cups every day. Yeah, and we're all glad he did for Dirk Nowitzki, who is an all-time great and deserved a chip. Yeah, no, they're literally talking about LeBron James and the memes and everything. Again, in my experience, the only thing I notice about LeBron is the fact that he keeps on lying about everything. Oh, that's my favorite quote. Wow, I said that Kobe was going to drop 80, or whatever the number was. It's kind of ridiculous seeing things go down that way, but all in all, LeBron is the GOAT for a reason, I guess, and I'm quite lazy to go out there and try to crop out LeBron James images myself, so I'm just going to go out there and use PSA graded cards to get the thumbnail going. This is a really nice one, man. These one-of-ones. So beautiful, but quite pricey as well. I don't think anybody's going to be paying $1,200,000 for any old Ivan Demidov card at this point in his career, unfortunately. But with that said, you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about Demidov's confidence that the Habs will win multiple Stanley Cups? How does this feel in relation to the LeBron James conversation? And do you think it's actually comparable? Thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.